Well, how are you? And here we are, another episode of Where in the World is the Church with two lovely ladies, sisters. So, let me introduce you to these folks. Most of you already know them, but Shirley and Peggy, and they will introduce themselves and we'll learn some things. And this lovely lady, so actually three, this is my wife, Colleen.
Shirley Eads Cheryl. Peggy Eads May. My first daughter died right before she was a year old, and that was in 55. She died in 56. I didn't know there was anything wrong with her. They told me she had a heart condition and couldn't go home with me, so she stayed in the hospital 10 days after I came home. And Shirley's sister-in-law was a nurse, and she knew that there was a problem, but the doctor decided not to tell me, and he sent her home to die. And then Patty was born in 58, and I have a grandson. When I married his grandfather, he was 2 years old, and he became my grandson. So my daughter doesn't have any children. But my grandson's not my blood, but he's my love. My oldest daughter, Teresa, has two boys, 35 and 29. The oldest one has two children, Madison, who just turned 14, Jaden, who will be 6 in August, and my youngest daughter, Elena, has two girls, Kelsey and Carly. Kelsey has a little girl, Raylan, who just turned 5 on the 7th of May. Now, we were married in 1954. Teresa was born in 1955. Ernest, he was in Alaska. He was in the Air Force at the time. And when he came back from Alaska, she was 13 months old. He asked for someplace in Florida, an Air Force base, and another place in South Carolina. I can't remember their names. And anyway, he ended up in Reno, Nevada. Teresa and I went out there and stayed. The winter was it was just rough out there in the winter. He was discharged then in March of 57. I think that's right. I went to work at J.C. Penney's before he got out of service, and I worked there until when you, back then, when you were 6 months pregnant, you had to quit. You couldn't continue working until after the child was born. So when Elena was born, I quit in March, and when she was born, May the 24th. And of course, I hadn't had a little one in about 9.5 years, and stayed at home until after, our father ended up with cancer, and after he died, I had worked at our memorial for Lawrence Walker. He was in accounting, and he just thought it was something that I just came from Reno, and so I worked there till I got the job at Penney's, and hopefully we thought maybe Ernest could get on when he got out of service. And so I worked there until, Elena was born in 1964, so I worked there till she was born, and I didn't work anymore until after my daddy died. Then I went to work in October, and I worked at Davis Hospital, Old Hospital, and U in the accounting department for 29 years. My first job was in Stimpson's drugstore in Statesville, and I went to work there when I was 17, and I worked there until I had my first child, and my husband was in the military, and I did not work while my little girl was living, and then I went to work at Troutman Shirt Company when
everybody in Troutman
Except me.
worked there, and I worked there until Patty was born. I worked there almost 20 years, and I had got divorced, and so I remarried. So then I went to work at West Ardle High School as a secretary, and I loved the kids. And so they would hang out in my office, and I retired from there when I was 60. And so, after I got remarried, my husband had retired 7 years before I did. So we had 5 wonderful years after I retired, and we were only married for a little over about 19 years when he passed away.
Shirley, tell us when you got saved and a little bit about that.
I cannot remember the year, but I remember when. It was in Bible school, and the associational missionary, Miss Willa Mars, she came every summer for Bible school, and I accepted Christ during this particular year in Bible school. But I cannot remember the year, and I was baptized in the river at the mill, at the foot of the hill now, which is all those big fancy fine houses are. Ernest and I got married, like I say, in 54, when he got out of service, and I can't remember when he became a deacon, but he was really young. But his church came before anything. Let's see, I know I worked with the nursery and the 2-year-olds. I can't remember how many years, but a lot of years. I loved children and had patience till they could get up and start, sassing back, and that's what Ernest said. I kind of lost my patience then. So I just worked with the little ones, and I did work with GAs some, I can't remember how long. But I was financial secretary for the church for 40 or more years. I just can't remember how long. And I just finally, I got shaky and all, I just gave it up. I guess year before last.
No.
I never sang much in the choir because when I was singing, the girls were beside of me. My voice has always been bad to crack. Well, Elena especially, if she would get tickled or anything about anything, you just could not, it didn't matter where she was going to laugh. And I just have to tell you this, you may not put this in, but her daddy was always in the choir, and of course she was with the girls were with me. But this particular Sunday, the sun hit his nose, just really right on the end. When she got tickled, I thought I never was going to get her stopped. I pinched her, I did everything I could think to do to her, but that didn't help. Of course, when we got out of church and her daddy had a little talk with her, so. But he was the discipline and the spiritual leader in our home. And we knew that, and we respected him for that. And in our later years, we just kind of did when anything was needed, meals and things at church. And the church really was, that was their source of entertainment and all, because that's where, the first time I was with Ernest was on a hayride church.
What was it? Lathan always said the prettiest girls in the county were at East Mondo, and he loved to come, and when they brought stuff from the farm.
So Lathan was trouble.
Well, I didn't remember him until I was grown, but
Oh.
evidently he was quiet about it. He just looked.
So what are some of the ways you served the Lord at the church?
Well, I can't remember when I was younger. We had Sunday school parties and different things, and a lot of times I had them at my house.
Yeah.
This was our adult Sunday school. We have some pictures of Ernest and Lathan that probably would be interested. One of the games that we played was to see which man could get on a lady's girdle the fastest.
And I know I've got the picture.
But I told you I was usually the instigator.
Who was the instigator?
Me.
Oh.
I helped with the nativity. I made costumes. I was in it every year, and until that was, I guess I gave it up not many years ago. And I helped with Awanas, and I loved on all of the kids. I adopted the Volsky kids for and some of the other ones because I didn't have a whole lot of grandchildren. I would have pajama parties, and I'd have wall-to-wall children in my den.
Patty, do me a favor.
Yes.
Tell me what you told me the other day about her cooking.
Her strawberry cobbler?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was making a strawberry cobbler, and I went to bed early, and she said she would get it out, and the next morning I wake up, and I see it sitting on the counter, all black. She let it burn.
You're kidding, you were blue. I did. And I didn't even go to sleep.
She let it cook for an extra hour.
God.
Did you eat any of it?
No. No. See, no.
So, ladies, how about you share a special verse that's been meaningful to you over the years? Peggy, I'll start with you.
Okay. John 3:16, probably one of the earliest ones that I learned. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed would not perish but have everlasting life.
Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Tell me about a time in your life when that really encouraged you.
There's been quite a few times. There's just been a lot of things in there with my grandson. He has the ALS. That really, I know he can do all things through me. Give me the strength. And if you misbehaved in church, you didn't have to be sitting close to your parents or anybody. Anybody that saw you misbehaving, they would correct you right then and there.
Did you get a lot of that?
No, but one Sunday night, a bunch of us were sitting back at the back, and we were maybe talking and giggling, and the preacher stopped the sermon, and we had to get up out of our seats and walk up and sit on the front row. I was one of them.
I wasn't.
You what?
Of course not. Marlene was.
Yeah.
Marlene.
Can you imagine doing that? I mean,
You've probably felt
you
like
would have
it.
had some parents mad at you, but I don't know that anybody told on me. You probably did.
So some time ago, I saw Peggy wearing some interesting pants. And ever since then, I call her fancy pants. And look at her pants today. She's got more fancy pants on.